Hi guys, I'm Misty, and if you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. If you're interested in this look, I have had it on for a while now. I did use the ColourPop Tangled palette for it, and I have the cute little pastel clip in my hair as well. But today's video is actually going to be the start of my Spin Wheel Picks My Makeup series. I think I'm going to try to post these on Sundays. I'm hoping like a Spin Wheel Picks My Makeup Sundays kind of thing, and then I'll follow up with like using the products and things like that. I haven't decided. It might be picks my products for the month. It may be picks my products for the week, but we'll see. It's still kind of in the works with that. But let's get started. So I cannot film at the same time as I'm doing the spin wheel on my phone. So what I will do is I'll do the little kind of like voiceover with the spin wheel, and then I'll come back and we will talk about each one of the products. All right, guys, so let's get started here. We have the spin wheel here, and the first thing we're going to start with is a lip scrub. All right, so it looks like we have the ColourPop Lippie Scrub 1 in a Melon. All right, so next we're going to pick, it's either going to be a lip balm, a lip mask, or lip oil. All right, looks like we have the C'est La Vie X Strawberry Shortcake Berry Kiss Lipstick Balm in Strawberry. So let me find that. All right, that one I'm going to have to go hunt down because I think I put it in a purse somewhere. So if I can't find it, we may have to pick another one. But let's move on to the next category. So the next category is going to be face primer. Oh, nice. So it's going to be the Wet n Wild Water Drop Coconut Hydrating Primer. I have not used that yet, and it's actually been on my list to use. So let me grab it. All right, so now we are going to move down to brow pencils or pens. It looks like it's going to be the Benefit Goof Proof pencil. I believe that's in a dark brown. So let me grab that. All right, so now we're going to go to eye primer. All right, so we have the NYX Glitter Glue. So I only use that for my shimmers. So I am going to pick another primer as well to use because I can't just use that one. So let's spin again. Okay, the Melon Longwear Shadow Base. I've actually been enjoying that one, and I didn't think I was going to. So let's pull both of those out. NYX Glitter Glue and the Melon. All right, so now we are going to pick an eyeshadow brand. Okay, Dominique Cosmetics. So let's go find that one in my list and see what palette we get. All right, let's scroll down here until I get to Dominique Cosmetics. Okay. So it looks like we only have one palette, or we could land on pick another brand. So let's see what we get. All right, so it looks like we are going to be using the Essential palette. So let me grab that. Okay, so now that we have an eyeshadow palette, let's pick a single shadow to kind of go along and try to utilize as well. Okay, an oldie. We have a ColourPop Supershock. It's a pressed pigment in the shade Monkey Business. So let me grab that one. All right. So let's move down and we're going to pick a eyeliner pencil. Okay, ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in Calabasas. I will have to try and find that one. Looks like it's a pinky color. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so I'm going to spin the wheel to pick an eyeliner that is a liquid, a gel, or a graphic liner. I may or may not incorporate these, just simply because I'm not that great with doing these type of eyeliners. But we'll see. We'll see if I can come up with anything. This is kind of supposed to help me get out of my comfort zone, so we shall see. But let's go ahead and spin and see what I get. Alright, so it's the ColourPop Twilight Graphix Liner in the shade Coven. I will have to pull that out and see if it's still good or not. If it's not, then we'll pick something else because it's been a while and sometimes those dry out. So let me check. Alright, so I found it and it seems like it's okay. Doesn't look like it's dry when I pull it up out of its tube, so let's hope for the best with that. Alright, let's move on. Alright, so next we're going to pick, it's either going to be a foundation, a skin tint, a BB cream, or a CC cream. Alright, looks like we have the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Skin Serum Foundation 35 Nude Beige. Alright, let's pull that one out. Alright, great, because this one has a broad spectrum SPF 50 in it, and it's getting ready to be summertime here soon in Florida, so that'll be nice to use. So let's pull that out. I don't use that one too much. Alright, let's move on to the next category, and that's going to be concealer. Okay, so we have the e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer in Fair 10C. I am going to use that, but that one does not have enough coverage for me on its own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin again, and hopefully we get a coverage concealer too. If not, then I'm just going to take the e.l.f. and pair it with the rest of my Tarte Shape Tape that I'm trying to use up. So let's see if we get a different concealer. Nice. Okay, I just got this and I've only used it once. Is the Makeup by Mario Surrealskin Awakening Concealer in 180. So this will give me a chance to figure out if how I really feel about it. Alright, I'm going to grab those. I'll be right back. Alright, we are back and we're going to move down here to Bronzer Contour. And let's spin. All right, we have the NYX No Limits Contour Bronzer Stick in Motivate. So that's going to be a cream bronzer. So I will use that. I'm going to spin again and see if I get a powder bronzer to use with it. Okay, so we got another cream bronzer. So let's spin one more time. And if I don't get a powder, then I'm just going to pick one myself. All right, so we got a powder. We got the ColourPop Pressed Powder Bronzer in Coconut Beach. So let me grab those two things and put in the basket. All right, those have been added to the basket. Now we're going to move on to blush. This is going to be Cream, Putty, or Liquid Blush. All right, we have the Cosmic Brushes Blush Butter. It's a cream. Oh, I don't have the shade. Let me spin again because I need to input the shade names in those and I forgot. So I can't really tell you which one that is, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Okay, we have the e.l.f. Luminous Blush in Isla del Sol. It's a putty blush. All right, nice. Because my e.l.f. putty blushes have been very, very neglected. So I am going to grab that. And then we're going to move on to the next category. All right, so next we're going to pick a cream or liquid highlighter. And then we're going to circle back to powders for blush and highlighter. So let's spin for the cream or liquid highlighter. Okay, one I just used today, the ColourPop X Tangled Dewy highlighter in I See the Light. All right, now let's spin for a powder blush. It could be a Supershock formula or powder, like a pressed powder. Spin. ColourPop again. We have a Just My Pluck powder. That's a older one in my collection as well. All right, let me grab those, add them to the basket, and I'll be right back. All right, let's spin for a powder highlighter now. Okay, the ColourPop Supershock highlighter in Coastin, and that is one of the ones that is like a, it's a Supershock formula in the big clamshells. That's another older one in my collection. So nice. Some of these things I haven't used in a while is going to get some use. All right, let's move on to the next category. Okay, now we're going to pick a face palette on days where I feel like I don't want to use the single products that I just used, and I want to use the face palette, or I want to kind of mix and match. So let's go ahead and spin for that. All right, so we have the Physicians Formula Breakfast Club Saturday Detention Volume 2 face palette. I do use that one quite a bit. I do have to make myself stop reaching for those a lot when I start using them because they're so easy to use and they're kind of effortless. Okay, so let's add that to the collection, or the basket, I should say. All right, let's move on to the next category. All right, the next category is kind of a boring category to me, which is mascara. So let's spin to see what we get. Okay, nice. We have the Essence Call Me Queen Dramatic False Lash Effect in black. All right, let's move on. We're going to pick a setting powder. Okay, so this is the Sophia and Mabelle finishing powder in Porcelain Petal. Okay, so since that is a finishing powder, I do want to try for a setting powder. I will spin one more time and see if I get one. If I don't, then I will pick my own. All right, we have the Ofra Oil Control Pressed Powder. Yeah, we'll give that a try. We'll try those two together. Okay, so let me grab all three of those things and I'll be right back. Okay, those things have been added to the basket. Now let's move on and pick a setting spray. Okay, we have the Wet n Wild Care Bears Get Through the Night. Let me check and see if I still have that one. Yes, I do. I still have that one. So let's add that to the collection. We're going to move on to the next category. Okay, so the next category will be lip liners. And I think since I have... I have such a neutral palette, so I know I definitely want to pick from the nudes category for the lip liners. I'm trying to decide whether I want to add in one from the red, pink, purple, black, and orange category or not. But let's go ahead and spin for the nude category lip liners. All right, so we have the Glam Light X Barbie liner, the blue component, okay? All right, got that. All right, I am gonna spin for the other category of lip liners. I'm hoping to get possibly an orange lip liner, and you guys will see probably why here in a little bit when I finish the spin and I kind of show you everything. But we'll see what I get. All right, so it looks like we got more of like a burgundy color. We have the ColourPop Lippie liner in X Factor. Yeah, I'm gonna add that in. We'll see whether I utilize it or not. But let's move on to the next category. All right, I'm back and we're gonna skip the lip tints. We're gonna skip lip stains. We're gonna skip the lipstick duos. We're gonna skip Lippie sticks this time. Definitely gonna pick a liquid lipstick, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, that's new to my collection. That is literally the only Fenty lipstick I own. I got that in my most recent Icon box, I believe it was. Okay, so the Fenty Icon Velvet Liquid Lipstick in Sea Sweetheart. All right, so let's move on to the other category. All right, so I think I want to pick a bullet lipstick and a lip gloss this time. All right, so here's the bullet lipstick. All right, Lunar Beauty X Laura Lee Los Angeles Mora. Okay, and the lip gloss is Lunar Beauty Ella. All right, so let me grab those and I'll be right back. Okay, so I think that's all I want to do for lip products this time. Okay, so last we're going to pick my fragrance. Thought that would be a fun little extra thing. All right, we have my Britney Spears Blissful Fantasy. Okay, so let me gather everything together and I will be back on camera to talk to you guys and show you the products. Okay guys, we're back and we finished the spin wheel part of this segment. I'm going to show you the fragrance first. This is the Britney Spears Fantasy Blissful fragrance. Very nice. Very like floral, tropical is what I'm getting from it. I'll have to look up the notes because I don't exactly remember. Okay, so excited about that. I think it's going to work for summer. All right, so let me show you the products kind of in the order that I do my makeup. I think that'll be the best way for me. So first up, we have the primer. This is the Wet n Wild Water Drop Primer Base. This is a hydrating primer and blurs the pores. Okay, so nice. I am going to pair this with my, I believe it is Wet n Wild. Let me check. Yes, it is. I'm going to pair this with this Wet n Wild Glass Correct because as you can see, I'm getting pretty low and I'm trying to use it up. So I am going to throw this kind of in the mix too, but this is the primer that we're going to use for the week or the month, or I'm going to use, I should say, but you guys are coming along for the ride with me. Okay, and then brow product. I have a little mini, so it doesn't have the shade on it. I think it's shade 5 because that's the number, but I believe it's a dark brown. It's the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil. I do think it's a nice brow pencil. So we're going to use that. And then after that, we're going to work on eyes. And eyes for eye primers. We have the NYX Glitter Glue for the tacky primer for shimmers. And then we spun again and got the Melon eyeshadow base, which I've been enjoying so far. Okay, so then the eyeshadow palette that we spun is the Dominique Essentials palette, Dominique Cosmetics Essential palette. I got this in, I want to say it was the Gwen Stefani icon box. Very nice packaging, very hefty feeling, very sleek. And then I told you guys, you know, it's a neutral palette. You got like a black in here to work with as well, but for the most part, it's pretty neutral. So there is that. Pretty easy one to kind of work in. But then it threw us for a little bit of a curveball with the single shadow that it picked. It picked the ColourPop Supershock in Monkey Business. I'm going to be careful with it because it is a little cracked. I may have to revive it. But it's this vibrant orange shade. Yeah, I think, I'm definitely going to have to put some Inglot in that, try to revive it. We'll see. That's one reason I want to do this is because I need to be using products before they go bad on me. I have a lot in my collection, and I'm blessed to have a lot in my collection, but I don't want to keep it and it keep going bad, you know? I'd rather it go to someone to use. But that is what we've got to try to work into with that palette, or somehow a look. Okay, but then after that, we're going to start on the face. Still sticking with the eyes. Let's go with eyeliner and mascara. So we got a metallic kind of pinky shade, like a metallic light pink for the waterline from ColourPop. I think that's going to go well with the pinky nudes with the palette, so we'll see. I'm not so sure about the metallic part. Maybe it'll help with brightening, but we'll see. Okay, and then the mascara is the Essence Call Me Queen Dramatic False Lash Effect, and if I remember correctly, I think I like this one a decent amount. So that's that. Okay, now I think that's it for the eyes. So let's get into face products. So we already did the primer. And so our foundation is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation with SPF 50, broad spectrum SPF 50. Shade Nude Beige, shade 35. I think this is going to be nice for the summer month coming up. Okay. And if I remember correctly, that gives a nice radiant finish. All right, now concealers. So we got an eye brightener to start with, which is the e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer. I think it's in Fair 10C, I think was the one we got. So that's this one. So it's only good for brightening. It doesn't really give much concealer for me. So we spun again to pair it with the Makeup by Mario Surrealskin Awakening Concealer in, I think it was 180. Yeah, 180. So I think these might make a nice pair together, since this is lighter and brighter, and this is more like kind of my skin tone. But yeah, I'm excited to try these together and to try this formula out some more, because I've only used it, I think, once or twice now. I just got it in my most recent icon box with the Foster sisters. Okay, continuing with face, we have, let's do cream and liquids, I guess. Might be a little out of order here. Okay, so we have the LYS No Limits Contour Bronzer in Motivate. I use this one a lot. I really like it. I just hate how nasty the packaging gets. This has been cleaned up because I try to wipe it off periodically. We also got the liquid highlighter from the Disney Tangled collection. This is I See the Light. I think that's going to pair nicely with the neutral shades that we have for the palette. And then we got another curveball thrown in here. So we got the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush, and this is the Isla del Sol shade, and it is this vibrant orange. Now I'm thinking that these two would make a good like monochromatic look one day. I'm thinking. My brain's kind of trying to come up with some stuff as I'm looking at it, but that is definitely the two that we have with some bright poppy colors in this spin wheel series. Okay, so then we have powders for the face. We have the powder bronzer from ColourPop. This is a very old one in my collection. This is Coconut Beach. This is the lighter of the two. I typically tend to mix and match this one with the Talk to the Palm shade. We'll see if I have to do that. As you can see, I dip into this one more than the other one, but we'll see. Then we got a bit of another kind of curveball thrown in. We got the ColourPop Pressed Powder Blush in Just My Pluck. And it's this kind of like mauve-y purple blush. First I thought this was going to be like a dark purple, but now that I look at it again and see it's kind of mauve-y shade, I think this is going to go better than I thought, especially if I want to do pinky nudes on the eyes from the palette. Okay. Powder highlight. This is actually a putty texture. This is their Supershock formula. Yeah, this is Coastin. This is another old one in my collection. I'm looking to make sure, because there's one I have to be very, very careful with because it's very crumbly, but this is not it. But this is what it looks like. Again, I've told you guys before in the past, I hate these big old pans, these containers. But yeah, I think this one's going to go well. All right. This is another reason I wanted to do this, because sometimes you don't think about things, pairing them together in your collection. And then when you do this, you can kind of see it's like, oh, okay, that actually works really well with this, or that doesn't work well with that, you know. Last face powders. We have the Ofra Oil Control Pressed Powder. And then we have the Sophia and Mabelle Finishing Powder in Porcelain Petal. I'm going to try and use this. I typically like to use a loose setting powder for my face and then go back with a glowy finishing powder. Like you guys know, I love my NYX High Glass. But I'm going to try, and I'll see how I feel about this, because I've been wanting to try this more because I'm not so sure about it. So I'm going to try to use this as my setting powder. I really hope it doesn't leave like a really bad white cast. And then we're going to go in, and it's not glowy, but it is a finishing powder, the Sophia and Mabelle. I may still mix my NYX High Glass in with it as well, because you guys know I love that. It's like one of my staples I use in my routine, so we'll see. But these are my two setting powders, or face powders, to try or to incorporate. Face palette. This is the face palette. This is the Breakfast Club Physicians Formula Volume 2 palette, Saturday Detention. This is what it looks like. We have some nice bronzers in here I can utilize. Maybe mix with that lighter ColourPop. I forgot about these. Then we have these nice neutral peachy shades. And we have this nice bright highlight and this kind of like goldy champagne highlight. So yeah, I think this will pair well with everything. Okay. Then we have a setting spray, and it's the Wet n Wild Get Through the Night setting spray. I don't think I've used this yet. I may have sprayed it once. We'll see. It has a very distinct scent, so I may not be able to use it because I've told you guys I'm sensitive to certain things. I had a reaction the other day to one I tried. So I'll try it once and hope for the best. But yeah, I'm a little scared because it is very, very fragrant. I may have to respend for something else for this, but we'll try it once. Okay, and so two things I forgot. One for the eyes is the ColourPop Twilight Graphix liner in Coven. This is what it looks like. I will do my best to incorporate this because it's not your typical eyeliner. And you guys know I'm not very good with liquid eyeliner. I've been trying to practice, but we'll see. I will try. And then I forgot the Lippie scrub and then the lip balm to start off before I start all my makeup. This is actually not the right one. I gotta go find the red case, but it's the same kind of component. It's just a strawberry flavor versus a cherry flavor, because this one's cherry. Okay. And then let's get into lip products. So our lip liners, we have the Glamlight Barbie lip liner. That's what it looks like. Looks like it's going to be a nice brown shade, I'm hoping. And then we have the ColourPop X Factor. Now this one is more of like a berry purple. So this is another one I'm kind of like, I don't know how I'm going to work it in, but we shall see. And we have the Bullet lipstick. This is Manny MUA's brand, Lunar Beauty, and Laura Lee's brand, Laura Lee Los Angeles, which this brand, I believe this is the last week for them, the end of May, I believe. But this is Mora, so I don't know if this will still be available by the time you guys see this. Most likely not. So it's just kind of like a pinky nude. Very nice. And the liquid lipstick, it's like a velvet liquid lipstick though, is the Fenty Sea Sweetheart. And I believe this is kind of like a, Alright, I'll have to try and get the stopper back in there, but it's kind of like a mauve pink. I'm not sure why it did that. Okay, alright, got it. Okay, that's kind of the shade. I will say these do not smell very good. Is that just a thing? I mean, I just got this in an icon box, but I'm kind of wondering, because it smells horrible. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I've already used it once and it was okay, so. And then the gloss is Ella, and this is this from Lunar Beauty, this like very sparkly gloss. So pretty. All right, let me know what you guys think about these products. Are you excited to see kind of the looks I create, what I come up with? I think I'm leaning towards Spin Wheel picks the makeup for the month. I think that's what I'm gonna initially start to do. When I have more time, I may change it to the week, but right now I think it's the Spin Wheel picks my makeup for the month. So stay tuned for these to be posted on Sundays, probably the end of the month, so that you get kind of the aspect for the following month. So I'm going to try my best to get this up and edited. I have lots of other videos that I filmed before this, but I'm going to try my best to get this up and edited for the end of May, which is next week. That way you guys will know these are for June. Okay, so if you guys want to participate, maybe do this in your own way as well. I would love to see what you guys come up with. You can tag me in it here on YouTube, over on Instagram, on TikTok. I'm on Facebook, all those things. I'll link all that stuff down below if you want to follow me on any of these other platforms if you aren't already. But yeah, I'm excited to play with this stuff. All right, again, let me know what you guys think. Hope you enjoy this series. Stay tuned for upcoming videos for looks and things, and I hope you guys enjoy. And right, if you would, please like and subscribe down below. It really helps me out. I would appreciate it. I told you guys before, I am trying to reach 500 subscribers by the end of the year. You guys have gotten me to 300 so far, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Until next time, guys. Bye.